So I hear you guys really crapped the bed without us. Don't want to talk about it. Sad face. It's okay. We're here now. Hugs? There. It's all gonna be okay. By the way, who got Proxy Bees pregnant?
Oh man, so that just happened. By the way, Tom, I tried to get Anna Kendrick to guest star in that, but she wouldn't return my calls. So getting to Warhammer here, this is going to be a battle report between Orcs and Goblins and Dark Elves. We're practicing for Grail Quest, so we're going to be using Swedish comp to figure out our armies here. And mine's going to be 11, and I'm going up against some zero comp Dark Elves. And for those of you who don't know, Grail Quest is a 2-day NDGT run by Ben, and I think Ian's helping him out this year. It's going to be running at Atomic Empire. It's going to be the last weekend in October. It's the 26th and 27th. And you can sign up if you haven't already at bullcitywargaming.com. All right, so they already have their player pack up and the scenarios and everything. So the scenario we're going to be testing out here is going to be where you can get one battle point for each character you kill to a maximum of 2. You get 1 point for keeping your BSB alive, and +2 for capturing more bandits than your opponent. And Grail Quest is using the 20-0 system, but you can also get these bonuses afterwards, so you can technically get 25 battle points. And we'll be taking a look at my army, and like I had mentioned, mine's going to be Comp 11. But there's one interesting thing here. For Grail Quest, they're going to let you take Storm of Magic monsters to a maximum of 250 points, a maximum of 0 to 2 choices. And these don't count towards your Swedish comp. So I'm taking a 240 point monster, so technically I'm only comping off of 2260 instead of a full 2500 points. So that's basically what's going to help me get to an 11 with this instead of I'd probably be an 8 or a 9 otherwise. And the monster I chose from Storm of Magic is going to be the Great Spine Chaos Beast with the Marcus Slanish for Always Strikes First. And this is going to be my opponent's Dark Elf army. This is from my memory. I don't have his list with me. And you can see he's going to have basically the unkillable Dreadlord. And he's going to have a big gigantic unit of Executioners. And for his 2 Storm of Magic choices, he's taking 2 units of Harpies with poison, because he can't get the poison in his regular book. And I'd ask him how come he didn't take a bigger monster, and he felt like he had no wiggle room because he barely had the points to cover for core, and he didn't really see anything else he wanted to take out. So when all said and done, his comp is going to come to a 0. And this is how the armies look after Vanguards. You'll probably notice in the bottom here, my proxy for the Great Spine Chaos Beast is going to be a golem, an iron golem from Mantic, and it's on 2 chariot bases. The Forge model doesn't come with a base. The picture shows it like on a 100 by 100. So for the Grail Quest, for models that don't have base sizes, in the player's pack, Ben's put down what size bases you need to have for your models, for your proxies and everything, because he's being really lenient for proxies. He doesn't expect people to go out and buy really expensive models to cover this. I mean, this is basically just like a fun theme for the tournament. This is going to be Dark Elf turn 1, and you can see he's already coming up on the flanks for me here. I made a pretty big mistake with my Vanguard on the left. I put him in a position where he can land his Harpies right out of my line of sight of my Wolves. In his magic phase, he just tries to give his Executioners scaly skin. He'd given him a 5+ ward with the Cauldron, but then he rolls like 2 1s and a 2, and so he fails to cast, and his magic phase is over right then. Or maybe roll a 1 and a 2, something like that. But going to shooting, he had a lot of his stuff was out of range, but his Shades and his Dark Riders combined to take out one of my Spear Chuckers. This will be Orcs and Goblins turn 1. I charge my little night goblin unit as shades, and he flees with them. I try to redirect to his harpies, but I fail my redirect test. Going into magic, he dispels my foot of Gork while I try to put a foot onto his executioners. But then I'm able to get off a hand of Gork on my great spine beast to put it in front of the night goblins. I was kind of hoping I can do like an end around and get back to that cauldron of blood. Going into shooting, I mostly not much happens. I'm able to kill one Dark Rider, and everything else I have either scatters off or does nothing. And we have Dark Elves turn 2. He charges his big executioner block at my pump wagon. He charges, each harpy unit charges one spear chucker. And he rallies his shades that has an assassin in it. And he also charged his unkillable Dreadlord at my big Savage Biggin unit. I mean, there was really no way for me to get away from that. So when he goes into magic this time, I think he tries again just to give Scaly Skin, and he fails it again, and his magic phase is over. I mean, this is like 2 times in a row his magic phase really failed him. So we go into his shooting again. I think he tries to put some shots into my trolls or something. He doesn't have a lot that can shoot this in range. So, and he has his Dark Riders that come up here towards my level 1 shaman I have hiding behind this hill. And I think he put some shots at it, but he does nothing. So when we go into combat, I mean, both my chuckers die easily, and my pump wagon dies easily. And he overruns into my single troll with his executioner block. And when we go into the combat with my Biggins, I issue a challenge with my war boss, and we both strike each other and we do no damage to each other. But he's unbreakable, so he holds. I mean, he's stubborn, so he holds. He's not unbreakable. It's bad enough as it is. Alright, so that's pretty much all the turns, but I think he's kind of overextended his lines a little bit, so I'm hoping that I can make a big comeback here. Going into Orc and Goblin turn 2, I charge my Spawn Beast at his cauldron. I figure it always strikes first, plus the little special spike attack and everything. I'm hoping I can, wipe that out. I also charge my trolls into his executioners when my single troll's already there. And I charge my night goblins into the flank. So when we go into magic, I think I want to say I get every go off of my savages, but I'm not sure. And I do get a foot of Gork irresistible off onto his bunker that has a level 4 in it. And I kill either 15 or 17 spears. He holds, but when I try to roll it again, I roll a 1, and he puts it, I think, onto my bunker. And it looks like he kills 2 or 3 of my guys. And also I get a hand of Gork off of my Doom Diver. I'm trying to move that away from where his harpies and his Dark Riders are. The best I can do is move it up on the hill. So when we go into shooting, I have nothing to shoot because when he wiped out the Chukka on the left last time, it panicked my Rock Lava, and it also panicked the Wolf Riders over there, and they ran off the table. So with me moving the Doom Diver, I have no shooting at all. So going into combat, that Spine Beast, it does 2 wounds with the spike attack. He saves both of them. Then I do 4 wounds with my Always Strikes First. He saves all of them, so I do not a single wound. Then he strikes back and does 3 wounds to me. I mean, I think he did like 4 wounds and I regen 1 of them, so he does 3 wounds to me. So I lose by 3, and I break and run, but he can't pursue me because he's a war machine. I could not believe that. But going into the other combat between the trolls and night goblins, I win that combat. He really only kills maybe 1 troll. I win that combat, but he's stubborn because he's still within 12 inches barely of his cauldron. But the big news is, in the challenge between my war boss and his dreadlord, I do 1 wound. He does no wounds to me, but he fails his stubborn test, rolling an 11, and he's out of his BSB range. He breaks, and I run him down. Oh, that was a big thing. And then when I'm running him down, I go into the combat with executioners, trolls, night goblins. So that was a really big moment right there. I was able to kill that Dreadlord. Let's end the game now. Dark Elves turn 3. First we forget we hadn't fought the combat with the Harpies, my level 1 shaman. He kills me easily and then reforms to face the rear of my Doomdiver. So that hand of Gork was for nothing. So, starting his turn, he charges his Harpies at my Doomdiver. And he also tries to charge his Hydra at the flank of my Savages, but he fails the charge. And we go into his magic. He does give the Scaly Skin to his Executioners this time, so for the first time he got a spell off. He tries something else. I can't really remember what it was. I think I'll dispel it. And we go into shooting. His Shades and other guys able to do 1 or 2 more wounds to my Spine Beast, so I've either got 1 or 2 wounds left. And now we're going into combat, and I did not realize that Executioners had Killing Blow standard. I thought it was an ability you only get with the Cauldron. So he puts 5 attacks onto my War Boss after I've done all my attacks, and it has a Killing Blow off. He gets 2 Killing Blows off of my War Boss. I've only got a 5+ ward. I only make 1 of the wards, so my War Boss dies. So he gets revenge on me killing him. I still win the combat, but he's still barely stubborn from barely being in range of his Cauldron. So he's able to stick again, but now it's getting be iffy now. Going to Orc and Goblin turn 3. I rally my Spine Beast. Everything else I have is pretty much engaged other than my bunker. This time going into magic, I get Here We Go off on my Savages. I know that. And I don't think I do anything else. So we're going to shooting now. I'm trying to kill that Hydra. My Lava scatters off. My last Chucker here hits it, wounds it. He fails his regen. I only do 1 wound. I mean, I couldn't kill it anyway, but maybe I could lower his strength for his breath attack that I know it's coming. And we go back into this combat. I do a bunch more wounds. He does wounds to me. He's still stubborn. I got him down to 1 rank. So, that's something, but I was really hoping by now to have those Executioners wiped out and I'd be moving on into his rest of his army, because I'm getting nervous about the Hydra just looming there to come into my flank. I have Dark Elves turn 4, and that Hydra does come into the flank of my Savages, and his Harpies come to the flank of my Night Goblins. I had reformed my Trolls, so I had that other 4th Troll be able to fight, so that leaves open the flank of my Night Goblins. He also charges his Dark Riders at my Lava. So we go into magic. I think he gets the Scaly Skin off again, and he gets some other spell off of my Savages. I don't know if he got off of my Savage or not. But either way, not really a lot happens. We're going to shooting though. He is able to kill my Great Spine Beast. So, that's really bad. I was really hoping I'd have that somehow survive all that shooting. And, well, not really a lot of shooting, because he reforms all his crossbows to be moving away from my army. So he really only has the Shade shooting at them. But with those Rendon Stars, he's able to have Strength 7. And, I think I had 1 wound left, so it dies. But this combat's going to be the big one here. Basically, with his Harpies, he's able to kill a good number of Night Goblins, and between his Thunderstomp, Breath Attack, and regular attacks, he's able to kill a good number of Savages. I'm able to get him down to about 3 or 4 maybe Executions left, but he wins the combat. I am steadfast with everything, but I don't have a general anymore. So my Savages are on steadfast on 7 with a reroll. I make it. But I rolled a 4. I rolled a 4 to start with. So if I started with my Trolls, they would have held. But I started with my Savages. So my Trolls break and run. But Night Goblins need a 5 with a reroll. They make it, so they hold. So he can't pursue with anything. So that saves, my Trolls. But they're 4. They're going to roll off the table anyway. So basically, I test and I reform my Savages to face his. Because this is 2 combats now, so I reform my Savages to face his Hydra. And he reforms his executioners to face my night goblins, and he's like in one single line. I have Orc and Goblin turn 4. I charge my bunker into the rear of his harpies, and that's pretty much all I have left. That in one Spirit Chugga. Um, Going to magic, I still have Ere We Go to cast. I mean, I do that, and I think I try a foot on his one of his units again. And I put it between his two crossbow units. It hits, but it only kills like 2 or 3 from each unit, and he passes his panic test on the one unit where he needed to take one. So going to shooting, I think I have my one Spirit Chucker, and I might have picked it up. I thought it was already dead. So this week, just go to combat. My savages kill his Hydra. So I reform. He had moved out his level 4 out of the bunker. So I reform my guys to face his level 4. Now, in his other combat, I really think that he has like his harpies where it's 4 in the front and 1 behind. He directs all his attacks back towards my bunker, and I don't think he can do that because I don't think all of them can make support and attacks backwards because he's 4 by 1. So I think one of those harpies can't do it, but some other people say he can put all his attacks back towards me. I think he was 4 by 1s. I don't think he was 5 wide. But anyway, he killed some of my night goblins, but between my BSB and my other night goblins, I wipe out his harpies. I don't kill any executioners though, so he still has his 3 executioners left. He's still barely in range of his cauldron. He still stays stubborn. So at this point, I wanted to play another turn, but he wanted to go get dinner, and basically we just agree to add up the scores. And when we add up the scores now, he's ahead 11-9. But we both agree if we did go ahead and play the 5th turn, I would take out his executioners. He doesn't really agree about my killing his level 4. I guess he was trying to get in the building, but I think I could charge the building and then kill it. But maybe if he passed his March test, he could get out of my line of sight. So anyway, we basically end the game after 4 turns, and we agree, that his executioners would be dead. But we added it up both ways. Okay, so when we add it up, like I said, if we end here at turn 4, he's up 11-9. And for scenario points, he'll get 2 characters of mine killed, and his BSB is alive for 3. I'll have my BSB alive and 1 character killed for 2. But, agreeing about that turn 5, I'll get the full points for his executioners, which makes it a 10-10 draw. With Grail Quest, you can get half points if a unit's not fleeing and they're below 25%, which he only had 3 executioners, so I would get a half points anyway, and I get full points and his banner if we play at turn 5. So that makes it a 10-10 draw with turn 5. He still has his 3 extra bonus points, but I also get 2 more points for capturing 1 banner versus his 0 banners. So that would make it a 14-13. Either way, it was a very, very close game, and I felt like I did really well against 0 comp. Usually against Dark Elves, I get just destroyed, so I felt really good about this. Alright, so we're at the end of another battle report. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have one more Grail Quest on battle report on practice game. It's going to be against Skaven. I'll try to have that up in the next few days. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.